What's up, Greasers? I'm Sean, and today we're talking about music, specifically of the metal variety. Now, I had another video I wanted to put up now, but I ended up leaving my camera at my friend's house where I recorded the last vlog, and so we're doing something different. So when people ask me what type of music I like, I always say that I'm a metalhead, but that has kind of connotations to it. People imagine me listening to music like... But that's really not the only thing you hear. I mean, music is such a crazy genre with so many different subgenres and regional sounds and all this type of stuff, so you really get an eclectic mix. So instead of just trying to define myself by the word metalhead, I'm just going to talk about the music I listened to last year, 2016. So the first album I remember picking up last year was Coheed and Cambria's The Color Before the Sun. Now, I've been a Coheed and Cambria fan for a long, long time. I've seen them in concert. I was thinking about getting a tattoo from them, but so I pretty much have every album. And The Color Before the Sun is more of a commercialized album for a wider audience. I love all their albums, and while Color Before the Sun isn't really my favorite album, I don't have anything to complain about. Now, also early in the year, two of my favorite European kind of progressive metal, progressive rock bands released albums. That is Haken with Affinity and Circus Maximus with Havoc. Both these albums kind of have like a lighter, more playful, I'd say, atmosphere to them. They're not super hard metal. You can kind of get into them fairly easily. They definitely have a nice melodic sound you can get into. Now, Right Out of Left Field is a band you'd never expect me saying. It's a 1975. Now, I hate pop music, but the 1975 has this unique sound to them that I can't really get past. When they released their first couple singles off the album, I didn't quite like it compared to the first album. It was kind of more poppy, kind of more Michael Jackson-y, if you know what I'm talking about. But as soon as the album came out, I got to listening to it and realized that it all fit together pretty well. Now, this year I had the opportunity to go to a couple fun concerts. The first one early in this year, when I was still living in the United States, was August Burns Red. Now, back earlier, I actually missed a chance to go to a Breaking Benjamin concert that came to my town. That was kind of disappointing for me because I really liked their last year's release of Dusk Before Dawn, using a whole different lineup of band members. Meanwhile, I'm maintaining the same great sound they've always had. But I ended up going to the August Burns Red concert, and I really enjoyed it. Now, one of the bands they were performing with this time was a band called Era. Now, I searched them up before the concert even started, and I immediately got hooked on their sound. They have two different vocalists, one with clean lyrics and one with growling lyrics, so it's really kind of an interesting contrast you get there. Now, as you know, I lived in Paris this last year, and I had access to really great record stores, electronic stores, and I got to pick out a few great albums that I saw on the shelves there. The first time I went in that store, I picked up a CD that I didn't really know much about, and that was a copy of Delay and Moonbathers. I'd never really listened to this band before, but I picked it up, listened to it in the store on those little headphone sets, and I immediately liked the sound. The second album I picked up later in the year was Riverside's Eye of the Soundscape. Riverside, I would say, is probably the most chill metal band you'd ever be able to find. They're from Poland, and they have a really unique kind of synthy sound with melodic interludes and all that type of stuff. It's really hard to define, but they're really good. Now, this album was interesting because they lost a band member to a heart attack earlier in the year, and they're kind of releasing this as a kind of memory to him. So they have a few new songs in there, as well as a couple remixes of some older songs that they had on previous albums. So early in this year, I discovered on Bandcamp this little tiny band called Totoro from France, and they had this unique sound, kind of a progressive rock band with lots of fun melodies and stuff. And it just so happened they were playing in Paris when I was there, so of course I went to see that. Now, their opening act is what surprised me the most. It's called La Jungle, or The Jungle, who are also on Bandcamp. And as soon as they got up on stage and started playing, I was floored. They have such an interesting, fun sound that I had to immediately search them up afterwards on Bandcamp and immediately download all their songs. I can't explain how much I love Bandcamp. There's a lot of great small bands on there that you should really check out. Other bands I discovered on there this year were Meniscus and This Town Needs Guns. I'll put a link in the description. So yeah, that's pretty much what came out in 2016 that really piqued my interest in the music scene. So for 2017, there's a couple things I've got my eye on. There's a new Gorillaz band on the horizon. Sometimes I'm not sure if I like the Gorillaz sound or not. It changes over time. And I actually listened to the first single that came out on this new album. I don't know what it's called yet. I don't think they have a name out. But I didn't really like it, so we'll see. I mean, they got a whole nother album out there, so I can always cross my fingers. I caught wind of another album coming out from Mastodon. I saw them in concert a couple years ago, and they were really cool. They have a unique sound that you wouldn't really hear anywhere else, and they have a lot of great energy in their band, so I'm excited for that. Finally the elephant in the room, the new Tool album that's been 10 years in the making. I'm kind of conflicted about it. I mean, personally I'm worried that it might be bad, but I really doubt that can happen. I really like all the old Tool albums. I can't stop listening to them, and I'm pretty sure as soon as this new album comes out, I'm pretty much not going to listen to anything else for a week or more. So that should be interesting. Anyways, let me know in the comments what you listened to down in 2016. Until next time, this has been 50 Shades of Grease. Checking out. Let's do the middle. I can't do it. There we go.